There are so many couples out there who like the idea of being with somebody. They don't really like them as a person. They just like what this person represents. I'm Angie. Stick around with me and let's talk love. I think we all know what it's like to like a person. And I think that entails the goosebumps that we feel, the butterflies that's in our stomach. It's safe to say that we all have experienced that. When you like somebody, your level of effort tends to change, like how much you're putting into the relationship. You're willing to make sacrifices, whether it's your time with other people, etc. So that tends to change when you like somebody. You may find yourself doing things that you wouldn't normally do. Like if you don't like bowling, you may find yourself going bowling with this person. Whatever the case may be, you tend to do these things because you like this person. You may find curiosity in understanding them, and that curiosity may heighten, right? You may start feeling like, oh my goodness, I need to learn this person more. I need to see what they're about. I need to understand them on a deeper level. So your curiosity automatically heightens. You may even find yourself accepting flaws and imperfections that you wouldn't normally accept, or you haven't accepted in another person. And so that's when we know that we're with the person that we're meant to be, because everybody has, side note, I'm sorry, everybody has imperfections and flaws about them. It's just a matter of who is going to accept that in us. So everybody tends to have that person that is going to accept flaws that somebody else can't. But I digress. There's a darker side to liking a person in questions if it's real or not. Can I trust that it's real? How can I tell this person genuinely likes me? Because most people won't genuinely like you. Relationships, even family members. Like, how many of us can say we don't like some of our family members? Like, if they weren't my family, I wouldn't be hanging out with them at all. But a lot of people are just not going to like you. They're not going to like your personality. Liking a person genuinely is about liking them in their wholeness, and not only in their wholeness, but in their brokenness as well. Many people are too self-absorbed with themselves to like you in your brokenness. And so what happens is they tend to lack patience to deal with you and what they call your drama, and all that comes with you, really, all that comes with making you you. And so they're like, I'll take the good parts, but the bad parts, I don't want to deal with. I don't want to deal with that. People like this, you can have everything going for you, but if you come with that emotional baggage, people just have a lack of empathy. And a lack of empathy is meaning they lack the ability to be able to place themselves in your shoes, to be able to understand why you may be acting this way, why you may have the feelings that you feel. And I know people personally like this, where their major concern is about themselves. Like, you'll call them on the phone and you may just be calling to vent, right? And then they'll turn the conversation into something about themselves. Or they'll talk about you to other people, saying this person comes with too much drama. Or if you spend too much time talking about something you have going on, they turn around and make the conversation about themselves. And it just becomes one-sided. It could be in any type of relationship, not just intimate relationships. But of course, we're talking about intimate relationships right now. So in the opening and earlier, I talked about liking the idea of somebody. And I truly want to break this down to you so you can understand what I'm talking about when I go throughout this podcast. And if you are a person who just likes the idea of somebody, or you are with someone who just likes the idea of you, by the end of this podcast, hopefully you'll understand if this person likes you for real or if they just playing around with you. Because we ain't got time to be playing around with people these days. Like, life is short. So liking the idea of somebody, when I say liking the idea of somebody, I mean you like what they bring to the table and what they do for you. So any kind of benefit. You like that they are possibly naive, right? Because people are naive in their relationships, and that you can use them how you want to use them. It's a lot of people that out there that you can use, like, they care too much. You like that they are caring, right? And that they are more forgiving than somebody else may be. And you only like that because it's going to benefit you. And you've heard me say all the time, and you'll hear me continuously say that you can't just have a relationship. You have to be in the relationship. And people who like the idea of you, they just like to have a relationship. They're not really in the relationship. And when I say being in the relationship, I mean fully vested in the relationship. Fully invested means I'm all in. I'm doing the very best I can. Not that fake stuff that we say. I'm doing the very best I can to be fully vested in this relationship. So somebody liking the idea of you, just for example purposes, if you are a woman who cooks for a man, he may only stay with you because he cooks. A better example would be if you are a woman who lets your man stay up in your house. He might only stay with you because he has somewhere to stay. These people are only fully vested because of the benefit from you. Another example is a person, if you come across a problem with them, right? So we all have problems in our relationships. We all have things about our significant other that we would like for them to change about themselves. So if I come to you and I say, hey, I don't like this particular thing about you, we all have to have that. It shouldn't be taken on the defense, because we all should have somebody that we can go to and talk to that will hold us accountable when we're not holding ourselves accountable. So if I go to you and I say, this is hurting me, can we work on changing this? I give you solutions on how you can change, etc., etc., and you don't do it, I'm going to tend to think that you just like to have me here as just a prop or something. Or people that change temporarily and then go back to how they were before. They like the idea of you, because if you really love somebody, if you really like a person and they bring something to you that is tremendously hurting them, that's really, and when your partner is hurting and you do nothing about it, clearly there's something else that you like about that person. And they probably have no idea even about it. Liking the idea of somebody can also look like you liking what they represent and you don't even see a future with them. So a lot of us are in these relationships with people that we don't see a future with, because right now they represent just having somebody there, just having that companionship. I remember one time I did a podcast with somebody and she was saying how she doesn't just want to have a piece of man, she just wants to have a real man. And that's what this is about. A lot of people just want to say they have a piece of man instead of having a real man or woman, no bias here, instead of just actually really having that companionship that will go the distance or that you can see a future with. Some people don't want to be lonely, and so they try and force a person into being something that they want them to be, not realizing that being alone and lonely are two different things. You can totally be with somebody, like in a full complete marriage with a whole family, and still feel, which that makes you alone, but you can still be lonely, because there's a complete difference in being alone and being lonely. So many people are in relationships with people, like I keep saying, just to be there. And that's when you know that you like the idea of a person and not them. These people, they're not there to make life easier for you. So if you have somebody that's constantly making life difficult for you, bling, 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 like, take a look at that. They aren't there to assist you with anything. They're bringing you down and bringing you into what they have going on. You want to watch that, ding, ding, ding. They aren't there because they really like you. And a lot of us, side note, a lot of us get into relationships and we aren't completely whole. Like, we know that we don't need to be in this relationship right now because we have things going on in our life, things that we need to work on individually before we give to another person. And then we stay because of the benefit of them. We stay because at times, and especially I see this a lot in women, we stay because they represent companionship. If this person is just representing companionship to you, then you just like the idea of them. And liking the idea of somebody is ultimately how you end up just tolerating your partner because you do it for so long, so long, and suddenly it becomes routine. But one day, people don't realize, one day you're going to come to yourself, you're going to snap out of it, and then you're going to realize, oh my goodness, I just wasted all of this time. We see this with women who have had children with men, right? They don't like who this person is, but because he may be the father of their child, they stay because he represents what they need at that time, a father for their child. They may not want to have their child go through, a fatherless stage or whatever the case may be. And so they just stay in hopes that this person will change or that they will just magically all of a sudden like them. Also, it looks like you're not caring about their growth. So a lot of people, and I talked about this before about selfish praying, a lot of people don't care about the growth of their partner. They just, again, they like what this person represents and the fact that they're just there. More specifically, when I'm talking about they don't like growth, I feel like when you truly love somebody, you're holding them accountable for their role. Some people feel like in a relationship, you should only be concerned about yourself. Like, you should not be giving your partner feedback. You should not be telling them about yourself. Like, there's really people out there that believe that. I don't believe that. I'm a firm believer in, if I see something wrong, then I should express that there's something wrong, especially if it's directly impacting me. And people that say that and take on that, they don't like you, because if they feel like you should only be concerned about yourself and you shouldn't be telling me about myself, how are they going to help you grow? How are they going to help you become a better person if you have that attitude? Because if you're telling me that I shouldn't be concerned about you or telling you about yourself, then clearly you're not going to tell me about myself. And therefore, the person that I'm with doesn't want to see me elevating and evolving in a way that I should be. So you truly have to ask yourself and think about some of the things that I've said with, do you like this person? Or do you like the idea of them? Because liking a person and the middle ground between this is effort. And I talk a lot about effort because people always want to know what makes a relationship work, what makes a relationship last. And it's not just communication and all those things. No, it's deeper than that. You have to have a desire and a willingness to want to be with this person, because on those days where you feel like giving up and this trial seems to be too much for you, you need somebody. You need that willingness. You need that desire to truly be with this person, to fight through those ups and downs, to fight through those setbacks that you may have. And if you just like the idea of a person, it's going to be a miserable process for you. When I was going through what I was going through with my husband, like our financial woes, we literally split a Wendy's sandwich right down the middle. We were so broke one time. We split a Wendy's sandwich right down the middle and was so content with it because we had desire to be with one another. We knew that trouble was not going to last always. We knew that eventually we would get out of this rut that we were in. And if we didn't have that desire, it would be a whole lot frustrating. Now, was I frustrated with the process? Absolutely. Was I a little bit frustrated with my husband? Absolutely. But it wasn't to the point where I just straight up disliked him. Now, did I handle things right all the time? No, I did not. And I say that all the time. But when you are truly vested in somebody, those struggles that you go through, those feelings that you have of doubt and giving up, they are more manageable when desire is there. And like I said in a reel one time, nobody can teach you desire. Nobody can teach you how to desire to stay with your partner. That has to come from within. You have to first want to be there. And then all the other things you learn, you can learn. Communication, building trust, maintaining trust, forgiveness, all those other things will trickle on and you can learn effectively, but you first have to want to be with this person. And again, like I was saying, the trials and tribulations that you will face in life, if you don't really like who you're with and you only like the idea of them, it will be more difficult for you. So if you're going through something with your partner and you're just like, I don't like this person, I can't get past this, etc., etc., you really have to take a look at, are you there with them for the benefit? Are you there with them because you truly love them, you truly desire to do life with them, whether life is good or whether life is bad? These are questions to ask yourself so you can get to a place of dating with intention. Well, anyway, guys, those are just my thoughts on liking a person versus liking the idea of them. Like I said, if you have any of these signs in your relationship, it's time to have an open and honest conversation with your significant other of, are you truly designed to be together? Because again, like I say, there's so many people in relationships with people that they are not meant to be in relationships with. That person is just there to teach them that one thing that they need to learn to be better for that person that they are ultimately supposed to be with. So look at these things, all the things that I talked about, and do some self-discovery within and ask yourself, do you really like who you with, or do you just like the idea of them, what they represent? Whether it be companionship, whether it be a father to your children, whether it be for money, or whether it be for any other thing that they can do for you instead of who they are and what they mean to you. So I'm Angie Roll, the team wife that turned my struggles into strength, marital woes into wins, and made the mistakes so you don't have to. I'll see you next month in March.